Let me get you this. This is black people stuff.
Hey y'all, it's your PR Diva here, and I'm hanging out doing hood rat things with my friends.
We get ready to eat some crabs.
We gonna eat some crabs.
We're gonna get this sponsored.
Oh, we gonna get it sponsored. We done came over to the house, y'all, and got this sponsored by Decoypor. No?
Yeah, well,
Yes,
don't matter.
It's by some peach schnapps.
Because we celebrate. We're not celebrating.
Right.
We're not celebrating.
But she hooked it up, y'all. She was like, we gonna have crabs. She done put some shrimp up in there.
Some corn.
Egg. She got some sausage, but she know it is 2020 basically, and don't nobody eat pork no more.
I know this
No.
Don't forget my
Oh, that's right there. It's right there.
It's right there for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I want to bleach into it.
I grew up with a whole half of my family nation. When people say, oh, I don't eat pork, or they find out that it's like my whole entire father's side. I have cousins who never eat pork, and they're like, and you still eat pork? I was like, I sure do.
How they ain't never ate pork?
They've always been nation.
Oh,
They grew up in a household. I mean, I still eat. When people make a big deal, yeah, we found beef bacon. I'm like, sizzling.
You know what?
Anybody that ain't old enough don't know what sizzling is.
In my household, I don't eat pork. My kids don't eat pork. It's just what it is.
We blessing food or no?
We blessed it already because Trump. But go ahead.
Ooh. Blessed it.
Bless it.
Bless it.
Bless them.
Why are you drinking out of 2 cups?
It just worked out that way.
So I guess
y'all
we
make,
should,
you get you a shot, make this happen, make your day right.
And I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah, please.
I am Adrian, y'all PR Diva. For the people that's going to see this on my page, y'all already know who I am. And
We'll go around that way, right here.
I'm Deandra Graham. Hey.
You got people that watch you too and try to figure out what's really going on.
Well, you know I'm one of the most hated women in Atlanta.
You know,
Really?
Right.
Come on.
Tell me more.
We need to know.
I run the Atlanta Is This Our Man page, who has
Ooh.
thousands of
Wait, the sis page or another page?
the another one. The Atlanta This Is Our Man, the one that's never been shut down, that still has.
Oh yeah, because the sis been shut down.
Yeah, they having a lot of issues over there.
They's having a lot of issues. But I'm sorry, go on.
God bless them. We don't get caught up in that type of drama. That's it.
I'm Trevina. I am Stevie's friend over here. And I'm just coming here and enjoying some lovely crabs and shrimp and corn and enjoy the conversation.
And I am Stevie Peterson, keto-ish. We're going to be keto-ish today with a little bit of this peach celebration that we have.
And I'm Sterling Graham. I have no page. And I'm just here partaking in the mukbang because I love seafood and I love politics.
Ooh,
All right,
you love
y'all.
politics?
Oh, yes.
Let's do this, y'all. Everybody got a crab cracker?
Thank you.
I'm from Baltimore. Who uses those?
Me? These are
Girl, you know I
zippers.
don't need that.
Normal
You
people.
know I don't need that.
Okay, you know what?
Somebody do
Everybody,
that.
Everybody for themselves?
everybody for themselves. So let's talk about this impeachment now.
Wait,
Why
so is he going to
is-
get put out of office tomorrow?
Listen, why do people not understand how impeachment works?
Because
There's 2 parts.
They just weren't paying attention.
Because we are 40 years old and don't care to know what an impeachment is.
Well, a lot of people don't know how the country works. They think the most important election in their life is the election for the president, when really you need to show up for all the local and state stuff. And if you don't get to the president, he's our highest diplomat. He's not.
But is
like
he
the
our highest
president.
diplomat?
I mean, that's
Well,
how
this one's not.
They showed
Not
Barack
currently.
Obama. He was a just a diplomat,
Well, Barack Obama, we ain't gonna talk about Barack
and we didn't
Obama.
send him enough help.
Why you ain't going to talk about Barack?
Because I love Barack.
Oh, I thought you were saying
No, we
wasn't
gonna talk
about-
bad about Barack.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about Barack, but it's gonna have to be positive. I'm just letting
Is
you
that
know.
something for the registered
Yes,
independent?
yes,
Oh, okay. You know, I just wanted to
How's
know.
the job
She's
going?
actually warning everybody right
I'm
now.
just
I'm
letting
a
y'all know.
registered independent.
This is a Barack house.
I think it has a lot to do with just like basic education. I think one of the Supreme Court justices said like democracy doesn't work good if people aren't educated,
True.
and so people can be
Right.
bamboozled. So if you look at the Trump base, it's kind of been bamboozled to a certain extent, and a lot of people just miss government class. You don't know how impeachment works.
I think that's the problem. I think it's really the class.
Yeah.
I don't think so though.
I mean, people are not taking that class. I haven't heard a lot of students talk about.
I was getting ready to say, but
class.
for millennials and younger people,
Right.
Yeah.
But when you talk about grown people who may have missed the class or don't understand it, it's like that class is the equivalent of algebra. We all took algebra, but like who uses it or remembers it enough that if you really needed to use it, you would understand it.
Right.
Right.
It's like we took it and we passed it and was like, okay, woohoo, life goes on.
Right,
So
right.
when it comes down to politics, if you aren't in politics like that, that's not something that
I don't
you deal
think-
with in your life every
I
day.
don't think you should forget impeachment. I mean, in our lifetime, in Generation X's lifetime, we've already had a president impeached.
But the president got impeached was impeached for some stuff that really didn't affect my life. Not
Now, he was still impeached. He wasn't removed, but he was impeached.
He was
so
impeached for
all
some
of us should understand it. And we came on the heels of Richard Nixon. So our family remember Nixon, and they talked about it and how hard times were and things like that during Nixon. We don't have any excuse. We just don't do
My
This is
family
so
didn't.
hot though.
My family didn't. We didn't. And
Talk about
yeah, no, I'm not gonna say they didn't talk about it, but not to the point where it was like something that I would keep it ingrained in my. You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
Trump is just in our face way too much.
yeah.
I mean, it's every day, all day. I just can't even take it.
Well, Nixon wasn't removed. Nixon resigned after
What?
his impeachment.
Hey,
And
Trump,
Bill Clinton didn't. He wasn't
Resigned.
removed.
what happened?
Bill Clinton was impeached, but he wasn't removed. He was,
But
the Senate didn't remove him.
so in Clinton's defense, he was actually a pretty decent president. He was hot garbage as a husband.
Impeached
What
is
you do,
impeached.
what you do in your house by yourself is your business. But what you can't do is talk about the light bulb turn you orange.
Well, you know,
When you flush the toilet 15
I
to 16
can't.
times.
That was ridiculous. The way he I guess patronizes his base. He tells them simple things
His base.
that they should understand. About energy conservation and water conservation. And then
Conservation.
like they don't care. Like we got unlimited water and we got all the power in the world, and everybody claps. And that's one of the things I say about bamboozled. But as far as people understanding impeachment, here's a bonus question for you. Who's the
Okay.
first person to be impeached? President.
Johnson, wasn't it?
But why was he impeached?
Or abuse of power, right?
I think they got for abuse of power.
Yeah.
Like this guy.
See,
Okay, well.
again,
There
no
you go.
clue.
That was before my time.
No clue.
Long time, right?
Huh?
I love history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And see,
don't
that's
get me
the.
wrong.
I think that's the thing. It's like if you're into politics, if you're into history, like those are your things, so you know. Because I wasn't the one. Honestly, I went to my son and was like, "All right, son. So what happens now?"
Right,
Because this
right.
is not my thing. My son is in law school, so I know it's his thing,
yeah.
and he'll understand it. For me, I'm not into politics like that.
Did he have to
Like,
explain it to his friends though? Is he the one like? that
oh, I
explains
don't
to his
know.
friends?
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I'm not sure.
So is he a contract law? I mean, is he constitutional law or?
Barger
You
nuts,
just know
right?
he's in
No,
law
that's
school.
cool. You good?
Yeah. Well, I know because he wants to go into politics. So like, it's not that he is there to practice. Excuse me, practice law. He wants to do in politics. So, I honestly like I am one of those people. Not that I said anything because I wasn't going. I never speak without researching or educating myself. So I'm not going to just put it out there for people to look at me like I'm crazy. So I most certainly went to him. I went to him the day before, and I was like, "Do you think he's going to be impeached?"
Right.
And he was like, "No."
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, we had to vote for the impeachment, and truthfully, if people would stop saying he's not done anything wrong
Which is crazy.
and be honest with themselves,
Well,
he really needs to be removed.
We've been here 2 years, and what? 3 years. We've been here 3 years.
He
And
wants to
for
be
people
impeached. He
to
wanted
say-
this.
yeah, he wanted to
I
be.
think that day after we saw the election, he didn't think he was gonna win.
I was ready to say, I didn't think he
Okay,
was
well,
gonna
like
win
he
either.
didn't actually win the election if we
He
didn't
didn't.
do that. So you can't really impeach somebody who is not really the president.
So now
But I
that
think-
But I digress.
I think it was like a joke for him. I think for him it was like, I'm gonna do this
True, right.
but they're not going to elect me. And then once he got elected, he was like, oh.
He was shook. When he was sitting in that office, he was looking around like,
I'm here.
you know, I gotta come back and check you in.
That's what I was thinking. But I can tell you I cried like a baby though. I really did.
I'm a grown man. I didn't cry, but I teared up. I'm like, man, it hurt. God
That
took
really,
this hurt
really
away
hurt,
from me.
man, you know.
Like, what have we done?
You know?
Yeah.
But I really thought that he would get better, and he just never did.
Did
I
you?
never had that hope.
I never had
I was ready to say, did you?
You know, because sometimes, like Barack Obama's President Obama said, you go through the whole, you know, the whole process of becoming and getting the nomination, and you do all this extra talking, but when you actually get the position, that's when you start to really buckle down and find out what the job is
No,
about.
he was just.
And you get the briefings, but he didn't want briefings. He didn't want to. I mean, it's just like he's just been out of control from.
He
the
just
top.
said that
Trump
job
is an
wasn't that
arrogant
hard.
and cocky person. He
Yes.
feels as though that his business sense is better than anybody else's.
Even though Trump Tower was bankrupt too.
Right, and but other than that,
Everything.
as far as he's concerned, he's good. He's a good negotiator. He's a good businessman, and it's nothing you or anybody can say.
He acts like a king. He thinks he's a king. He
What?
has the
Well,
attitude,
because
He acted like a third grader.
you know.
Well, you know who I blame for this? I blame, what's his name? Lindsey Graham for
Yeah.
enabling it.
Oh, Mitch
Yeah.
McConnell.
Mitch
Actually.
McConnell enabling it
Mr. Turtle.
himself.
Yeah, himself.
Mitch McConnell was horrible.
The Grim Reaper himself. And his wife is a drug dealer, a drug trafficker. It's just way too much.
If the people in your house don't even like you, like Melania does not like him.
Oh, she does.
Slapping his hand.
She does not like him.
I mean, he's the same age as your father, so I mean,
Yeah, but still.
it's kind of nasty.
She still married him. It was very nasty.
They got that little boy that looks special, so.
That, we do not talk about kids.
Well,
now.
I'm
you
very
know, we're
sad.
going to talk about kids.
I mean, you know
because
they messing with
wanted
little
you-
girl.
No, he talked about kids. That means
Yeah.
his kids for game.
That's right.
Yeah, he messing
That
with.
little boy looks special. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think that
Those
should have been her
special needs.
platform. Instead of be best, she should have been working with children that have, you know, special needs. That should have been her platform, but it's not.
What's her platform?
Be best.
Bullying.
Be best.
But that might be her way of working with special needs because most special needs kids get bullied.
Well, her husband is special needs. Start with that.
He is.
She owed me an apology. Melania owes me an apology.
What she do?
Just keeping him outside. You know, Ivanka won't come get her father. It's just too much.
But she was
I wouldn't let nobody do my
Ivanka
dad like
fulfilling
that.
the first lady duties for the
She
first,
is,
You know,
right?
first 2
It's out of
years.
control.
Yeah, that's a hot mess.
It's just too much.
So what happens next with Nancy Pelosi holding
Nancy
holding
Pelosi-
the card? Huh?
You made Sister Pelosi. Get it right.
And that- well, what happens after this is she holds it for a minute. She's waiting for Mitch McConnell to tell her that he's going to be fair and how he's going to run his.
Well, he
He's
can't.
gonna
He
be a
doesn't
juror.
run it. Yeah, he
No,
doesn't
but he's
run
going to
it.
be a juror, and he's
He-
already said he's not going to be a partial juror.
Problem is, John Roberts can sanction them, and I don't think that's what anybody's looking at.
I think what John Roberts every once in a while will pull one out the hat. He might rock their world in a few minutes.
I just don't feel like, and I've always felt that way, that he was a William Rehnquist replacement enough, but we can take that up with Bush.
Well, I just think that as long as we have to worry about Clarence Thomas being in control of things.
Yo, he's still there.
He's still, oh yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Good old Clarence.
Still couldn't come to the barbecue, Clarence.
No. I don't think he want to come to the barbecue.
Yeah, I was ready. He don't want to.
He won't at all.
No, he don't be at that
But
barbecue.
you know the concern is when or if he gets impeached. And
Well,
gets
he's impeached already.
If he gets removed, I'm sorry,
Mm.
correct that. We got to do his VP.
Hey, we'll
And
cross
that's
that
what
bridge.
I
And his,
said
and his VP
The whole time.
is a sneakier one, and he lays low, and when he might come out once that
We
removal
all gonna be slaves
happens.
again. Watch.
is-
Swing low.
So
But that's it
people
with him,
might
though.
be-
We had to deal
people-
with him for 4 years, so.
No, we don't, but he can do a whole lot before election too.
He would
And
never
like
be-
what I've been telling you for the past 3 years, Whatever
What?
I told you.
What you doing?
Pence is worse than Trump. He makes Trump look like a Boy Scout at his Sunday best.
No,
I don't think so.
I disagree
Yes,
with
he does.
I disagree
Why?
with
Why do you
that.
say that though?
Just-
Like people say that, but like I guess for people who don't know, like explain why. Because people always saying Pence is worse.
First of all, Pence is who the Republican Party wanted.
Yes.
He was their candidate.
But now they are really behind this nutcase. Because you
They
have
are-
a lot of Republicans running that.
They are behind him because they made him take Pence. He is the candidate they wanted on that ticket. They told him, we won't get in behind thee if you don't take thee.
Yes.
So you got to look at what he did to the gays in his state. Pence don't like nobody. He don't like gay
Well,
folks,
that's
black
fine,
folks,
but what I
Jews,
think is-
Gentiles, dogs, purple people, orange
If,
people.
if it's not him,
Well, he like orange people.
He
Yeah,
he
he like
don't
him.
like him. He tolerating him. He hold
They
his
not-
chair,
they don't
keeping
talk
it
to each
warm.
other, do they?
He what is it? He wants you white, blue eyed. He almost look like Hitler if he dyed his hair black. Pence doesn't like anybody.
Well, I think that the
Well,
power
that's-
dynamics are kind of mixed up because Pence or the Republican Party don't run anything. Trump actually runs everything because of the power of his base. So everybody's just running scared of the dude
Well, I
right
don't.
now.
But what is Trump doing to them that they are able to do that? That's what we got to figure
He
out.
has his
What is
base.
that?
He got
He
negative
His
ignited-
base is his base.
He ignited the field that was dry. He struck the match
But my
of
thing is,
hate.
but how do you tell a person that go to church? I'm gonna go ahead and hit this. All the
Oh
way.
yeah, hit it over here too. Hit it over here. We taking a break for the Decatur.
Let me know when you stop.
Okay, stop.
So we have a peach tea.
When we pitching it up a little bit, let me know when you like to stop,
Well,
man.
to answer your question,
So much.
kind of know where you're going with it. It's because of what he's doing in the courts for them,
No,
and so
yeah,
they're just selling out. That's just what it is. They're
but
getting
you're not really
their-
doing anything in the courts. You're putting people in the court that have zero.
but they're conservative leaning.
But are they really though? When you can't read,
I mean,
you're still
the
conservative. You can't read.
judges are.
Did you say you can't read?
Have you seen these judges?
I mean, the judge in the laws that he's passing and pushing through these judges. You know, one thing that's not very well known is that Trump has put more judges into these district courts than any other president. And
Yeah,
so,
I guess so.
that,
'Cause everybody can be a judge.
in which that was kind of their plan
Should
anyway.
have put my dog.
And that's why your boy Turtleneck was blocking Barack Obama from his appointees, and now he's pushing through these guys' appointees. And so when you have things like the ACA or these abortion rulings come up, now they're starting to move, and that's where the evangelicals are with everything. I mean, they know he's a douchebag. I mean, I hope I can say that.
Half of them are getting abortions.
Yeah.
In real
And
life.
it is
Half of them are in the room with little boys.
Well,
so
if-
don't talk to me about you not gay because you are, sir.
The evangelical right
Sir, you're gay.
has always been kind of hypocritical.
I'm just saying.
Billy Graham, 700 Club, all them folks. Pat Roberts.
Oh, I'm not talking about Pat Robinson.
Yeah, my grandma just rolled her over her grave.
It's too much.
She used to watch it. I think she used to send money to.
Really?
Oh Lord.
If you say Melania is a sexy, voluptuous, desired
Voluptuous.
woman, yes, sir.
Voluptuous?
Pat Robertson, yeah, remember
Oh,
he
yeah.
was on,
But ultimately, I think we end up with him being acquitted by the Senate, and then we just be on from there. I think Nancy is just holding the articles just to kind of drive people up the wall and do their thing. Because supposedly he's mad. I mean, can you imagine having to think about your impeachment
Well,
over
you have to
Christmas?
think about how
I gotta think about this on Christmas.
works in that we have to think about in our Constitution, they vote in the House and then they turn it over to the Senate. Until she turns it over to the Senate, her process isn't officially finished. So she has to finish it to make her impeachment complete.
Shit.
She
Right,
would-
impeachment
I mean,
is
it doesn't
complete.
say it has an amount of days.
right.
Or it doesn't have a time limit, but she does need to get it.
Well, one thing I know about Nancy Pelosi, she'll get it done.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she doesn't make him wait for it.
Uh-huh.
I think
They
to
can
after
sweat.
the holiday.
They make them wait for
to
it.
after the holiday. Because everybody kept saying they wanted it before Christmas, and then people, they're showing
Look
them.
at Mitch McConnell made Merrick Garland wait,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
so he can wait.
I think that
Oh man,
And I feel
And
like
laughed about it on Fox
Eagles
News.
oh that's good.
our New Year's is going to be interesting.
Why is
We
that?
have a new decade.
Well, actually, we need to be careful because Kim Jong Un said he got a Christmas gift for us.
Oh yeah, how'd that work out?
I don't know, we hadn't got it yet.
You know, with all the buddying up to You
Kim
know,
Jong-un said he got a Christmas gift.
We need to send
And I
Dennis
don't
Rodman back.
but the economy's good.
That's a shame.
That's, you know,
He
what,
wasn't
it's too
messing
much.
with us.
Dennis, where you at?
You
I
need
feel
some help.
out right now.
Need Dennis Rodman. Look us
Some
up.
help, 'cause-
And Kim ain't got that.
yeah, he do.
Him and Trump playing games.
They gave with each other.
Yeah.
Right. Leave us out of it.
They DM each
Yeah,
other
they
on
do.
Twitter.
Yeah, but y'all do that on your own time.
Nickname for him is Little Kim.
I'm a little document. He changed it.
Nah, he gets rock.
Actually, Trump does have the best nicknames. He don't have one for Nancy though, but his nicknames really do stick, like, you know, Little Marco. And what's the other one's name? Sleepy Todd.
Yeah.
Those are some really
And little Adam Schiff.
shifty shit.
Oh, Dad.
What's
Oh
wrong?
yeah, you
I
slow.
thought you had more eggs. Let's go.
Oh, I have one.
I
Oh,
want
I
to
Oh,
does.
thank you.
Oh, you don't like them? I don't like them.
No, the extra's fine.
I don't like your egg. No.
The food is delicious. Actually, it's just like juicy crab.
Just like that. My mama said it ain't.
I had a crab explode on
Don't
me.
tell Mama that it was good.
So mom said, I can't tell nobody if I used to grab.
So you think Georgia ever be blue again?
Mm.
I don't know.
We're close.
Stacey Abrams said it could be.
They stopped purging the voter roll.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I think she stopped the last round.
No, we just got something kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't they about to? Isn't they're actually about to investigate that, or he's in
I think he's supposed to be
investigation going on
investigated.
right now because
Yeah.
of that?
Yep.
I mean,
Because
I
he
don't
was
even
trying to
understand
say
why.
no.
What was the point of that?
Who became vote?
I mean, I know. I mean, like
When
what
you
was
have
their
a
point?
whole busload of black, you know, senior citizens that want to
Turn
go vote,
away.
turn them around,
Mhm.
that's the problem. And if people can't see a problem with this guy,
The other direction.
It's right. Yeah, it's down. It's right at like where
Y'all back on
Panda
it?
Express is.
oh, up at the top. What if,
That's the
what if
well,
gas
we
station-
talking about is the bottom. Yeah, it's the bottom. The top would be Cumberland Mall.
Then I'll be going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Y'all back on it.
Our bad, you be going down instead of up.
It's all right.
But yeah, so she
Okay.
actually is a recruiter or something right there.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like a huge like bounce house fun
Cool.
zone
That's
type
all I know.
place.
I'm done.
You've seen a lot of those popping up now.
What's that?
Yeah.
Pop up?
It's good
No,
though
the
for
fun
the
houses.
You know, for the smaller
the
kids.
jumpers and stuff like that. A lot of kids like that. They go and they jump and
Kids are
have
over
fun
Chucky.
and- I'm over Chucky.
I know, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Now it's get air or
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
those little shrimp.
Is that a place called
parks.
Monkey Joe?
Right, that's the get air. I like it too. Looks fun.
All right, y'all. That's it. That's all I
So,
In conclusion,
Back from my break.
Are we done recording?
no, it's recording
just
now.
recorded.
Y'all just started it again.
Okay.
it's gonna be bloopers.
Well, that's
So what I want, since I'm sitting here with my political friends, y'all,
Okay.
and my disclaimer is, I don't know why she got me here because I do not pay attention to politics.
How come?
I just don't. I'm not gonna sit here and try to make up a lie or just say something.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, is it
No.
that it's just not interesting or
It's
that
not.
you just never got into it?
I never
or-
got into it. I just never, like, I research and do my due diligence with things. Like, I vote in all the elections.
Right.
And I vote for whomever I feel is the best candidate. But for me to practice politics on a daily basis and research it and, you know everybody's name and do all those things, I don't.
So
I
what's
just
your
call my
political
son.
party?
Honestly, I'm Democratic by default.
How come?
I just said, how come? I said by default.
What made you take the choice of Democrat?
By default. I was raised Democrat. So that's what my party defaulted to. Like, so with my grandparents, they were Democrats. So for me, I have never, and like I said, it's the same thing. It's just, you ask a different question. Like for me, I just never
You want
took
on
the
there.
time to research that. Because it's just not for me. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in it enough to feel like, okay, let me research the parties and figure out which party better aligns with what I want to do and, things of that nature. I just vote according to how I feel. So it's not like I'll just go in and go like Democrat, or independent. Like I'll read even though I'm not into politics, I always read the questions too. Like if they're doing school zones or shootings, and when they were voting for the pump socket, the thing.
Lost.
No, it was like the thing they put on the back of the gun to make them automatic. Yeah, like so I read all of the questions. And I answer them according to how I want to answer it, not just basically based off a Democrat. But for me, it's just never been, I'm into politics heavy and I can sit and have a conversation with people about politics because it's just not interesting to me.
Right.
That being said, my question is, I don't know how you all feel. I know how you feel about Obama. That's a lie. But But people who say he's a bad president, I want people. I've been looking for an answer.
Say who's a bad president.
Tons of people say he's a bad president.
Tell the Trump supporters to say that.
No.
Nah.
Trump supporters.
So there are two type of people. I'll take this one.
We ain't gonna talk about Obama.
I just got into this argument
talk
today.
Bad about Obama.
I'm not talking about. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain.
We've all had.
Hold on.
He was pretty damn good though.
He was great actually,
was
but
alright.
here's the thing.
Well, see,
There's
wait
two
a
types
minute.
of people. There's two
Okay,
types of people
all right.
that say this. First is the average Trump supporter who hated him for what's obviously
he's black.
Because he was black, right?
That's
I ain't gonna say the average Trump
I'ma
supporter,
tell the world.
but that person. But then you have a sect of black people who feel like Obama should have did enough. Should have did more. Hold on, let me kill the point. Hold on, let me kill the point though. And
Because D over here like he wasn't all that.
but it's
So,
it's a disingenuous argument because obviously for
genuine.
6 years everybody know he was blocked and he actually did a lot.
Which is what
Being blocked,
Buddy has been
being
back.
blocked, and so it's like, what do you want the man to do? Either be president for all people or just black people?
I want
and
him
that
to be
sect
the
of black
president
people.
for black people. I
But
want
that-
him
but
to
he
come
couldn't do
in
that.
and let his nuts hang.
No.
And
no,
that
no,
and he
no.
was
But
supposed
then
to
he would became
No.
a black angry man,
Here's
and
the
he
thing.
wouldn't been
Here's
heard
the thing.
or took
Thank you.
seriously.
You
once
have
he
to-
once
no.
he got elected for that second term, who gives a damn? He couldn't win.
Well,
again.
what he did do is he.
But he did start doing stuff then.
He just let some folks out of jail. He
Well,
changed up
no,
some
he did.
things
Well,
on
So
the
see, so she is the people that I'm talking about. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is,
sect of
this
black
is the
people.
basis of my question. That, like there are a lot of people who I come across, black people,
Yes.
who are like Obama was a horrible president.
Now,
Well,
I
And
won't tell you,
they
I won't
wanted
say
him to
that,
do things
but
that
I'm
he
gonna
couldn't
say-
do.
But I'm
No,
gonna say
they wanted
this to
Obama
you.
to do things
They
for
did
them.
not send Barack Obama help, and here's where our problem comes in at as a people. We only turn out to go vote for the president.
That's
and we
some,
got
of some of y'all black.
and we
Not
got
this
to
black.
send when we elect people in that seat. We have to send them help. Our last.
So how can you
elect-
say the man was a bad president if he didn't have no help?
Look,
She said he
You
wasn't
can't
the
say
best.
He wasn't the best.
He was
And I will
alright.
say that. She did say he was.
But
Alright.
he was the best
He was.
because he conducted
She said,
himself.
He was.
Well, see, here's the thing that people don't realize. He conducted himself for 8 years. He was very successful for 8 years. And Barack Obama realized one thing. If they were going to block you for doing stuff, normal stuff, you weren't going to be able to do the stuff that the second, the third, or the fourth black president was going to be able to
I will
do.
say this. What I did like about Barack Obama, and sometimes things are just what you are have grown accustomed to, and not wanting change. He conducted himself in what we traditionally believe was presidential. Because right now we got a buffoon out here. You can tell he ain't never had his ass whooped in a circle.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody ever grabbed him by the fat meat of his arm
Right.
and just beat it. Because,
Cause money was thrown at him.
well, yeah, right, you know, the thing of it is that
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
you know, I understand when people say we're gonna break up the Hollywood status, the Washington status quo, but he's not acting presidential. Had Donald Trump been blocked for an entire year of having his Supreme Court nominee not even be considered, he would be on Twitter and calling a press conference every day. Barack Obama was like, I gave him somebody that should have just.
But you
been
can't
on
act like
there.
that in America as a black person. You can't do
There are
that.
certain things that Donald Trump
You
has
know
done
what?
that-
Sometimes
nobody
you
can
got to give the people.
You know, you
Give
have
the
the
people
blackest.
hope.
what I will say about Trump supporters
And that's what I wanted.
versus Barack Obama people is that we did not have this whole showboat nonsense that his people have,
Yeah.
where they don't see anything wrong. He can sleep with different people. He lusts after his own daughter, and they're like, oh well, that's who God sent us. We didn't say that. We didn't say this is the right. We didn't do. I did it.
We
I
criticized
did
Barack
it,
when
but
it
I
was
don't
wrong.
know if other people.
When it was wrong, we will criticize
Right.
Barack. Barack Obama did a lot of the stuff that Trump's doing. Like if he came out and said flush your toilet 15 times. First,
Well,
we were
first of
like,
all,
why
Barack
you
couldn't say
embarrassing us?
That's
Yeah,
what
you're
we would've
right.
said.
We can't do that. Now, here's the thing. That goes back to we have to be twice as good to be considered half as bad. And that's the honest to good truth. And when you are doing things, you know, it comes back to when Samuel L. Jackson said, act
She hit us with the Sam Jackson. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
effing presidential.
But you're not supposed to quote Samuel Jackson.
But it comes back
You're not supposed to quote
it is.
Samuel
It's when I think Barack Obama came out, he was fist bumping.
Oh, I would.
You know I'm right.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
And
hey
We're not
Siri, turn on
recording
Do Not
right.
Disturb.
Yes, yes.
and when
You gotta do that.
when Samuel L. Jackson said that, everybody was like, yeah, you know, he probably needed to change how he acted in that moment. But when Donald Trump does stuff, there is no celebrity that somebody would say, yeah, so-and-so said that. People would be like, well, you know, if he had to say something.
What we have, Robert De Niro has said several things.
A lot of them do. I believe that if President Obama came out acting the way Trump did, or even acted aggressively as we wanted him to, they would have impeached him a lot faster
But here's the
than
thing.
Trump
Oh,
will.
yeah, we
He
wouldn't
would have
even
been
remember.
number one. Soon he started to act that certain way, they would got him out that office very quickly.
Well, who
And he
has-
had to be careful on the things that he did to make sure that he can get done what he could in
Barack
that
Obama.
time. Yes. Because if not, if he came out there swinging like some of us wanted him to swing, they would have got him out. And they would use
what I think a lot of
abusive
things-
power.
Well, they kept saying he was abusing his power
Yeah,
by
but-
using executive privilege.
But that
But-
only
but
happened
Rock-
his last
no,
time.
he was using executive
But
privilege.
Barack
privilege
Obama
first
is a
term.
constitutional lawyer, so he knew exactly what he was doing.
Exactly.
So we have a nutcase now who has no idea that he's being enabled by Mitch McConnell.
Well, he's accustomed to being surrounded by yes men. The thing
But
what
we
I'm
can't have
saying
that.
is,
What's something we put you in there for? I didn't.
who
put you in
is
there.
the most distinguished person that we feel has come out and said, Donald Trump, you need to conduct yourself presidentially?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What does he have over them? Because I really don't.
None of them
but
were speaking like
actually,
Samuel
hold
L.
on.
Jackson
Hold
did.
on.
When we got Samuel L. Jackson, we had a
His name is-
comedian
his
say,
name
man,
is
not look Barack at
Governor
presidential.
Kasich
But I
has
think
said
also-
that he needs to conduct.
I see.
himself.
I don't consider him.
But he was a presidential nominee at one point.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying. You asked who said it.
yeah, but
so
I'm saying.
Kasich has said something.
In my opinion, I think that the Sam Jackson comment was a detriment because you can't. That's one of the things that you tell us in the house. You know what I mean? Like you don't say that out front.
Well, he
people.
was relatable to all of us, the black folks.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But still, like you don't say that in front of everybody because now, to your point, even though Stevie was like she didn't realize it or hear or whatever, but now this is a tool that is being used because you have a celebrity with the status of Samuel L. Jackson attacking the president, for lack of better
I don't
words.
feel like he
but
attacked him.
but it was though. It was not an attack in the sense of oh you an idiot, but it was an attack in the sense of act presidential, like you're scolding him for the world to see.
But nobody's scolding Donald Trump.
But my point. That's my point.
I think
is,
the best thing that happened with Donald Trump, there was something of a scolding when the it's not, yeah, it'll act up. When the Bushes said, don't come to my daddy's funeral.
I know, right?
Don't come to my, whatever you do, don't come to my daddy's funeral. That's the only thing that's coming.
You okay?
close.
You okay? Your friend dying.
I think we had a person down.
Like your friend is dying.
It was someone went down. I don't know what's going on. We all ate the same thing. So don't know. We all going to go down if that's
Lord
what's going
Jesus.
on.
Hey, if you don't see me anymore, I love y'all.
Like I said, I'm just telling him to call this number so he doesn't interrupt the video. It's been interrupted a couple of times.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, yeah, just that one time. Yeah, you got to edit around that point.
Well, you can edit.
But so when you encounter a white person saying that Barack Obama was a bad president, this is how I always shut that down. I say, all right, what would you have them do? And then, well, I would have had them free all the people from Attica. Huh? You either drop and he'd be like, all right, how would he do that?
Give us our
well, he could have just did
40
it.
acres and a mule.
It's usually what they'll tell you. He could have just did it, and you'd be like, no, that has to go through Congress, and then of course that's going to be challenged to make sure.
Right.
And I said, so Tavis Smiley, everybody, Tavis was my boy back in the day till he got bitter.
Right.
He wasn't invited to the picnic, and who was the other guy?
Cornell.
Yeah, Tavis and Cornell, they're big critics of Barack Obama. And, every person should be criticized to a certain extent anyway. It's a check for them, but it just comes off disingenuous when black people say that, knowing that the American experience
and that's my point about the Sam Jackson comment. Like that's not something that you should have said out loud, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like you don't use your platform to go against someone like that. Like that's just. Even for anybody, honestly. I mean, with the exception of Trump, because Trump deserves everything
Some
for
kind
his
of
behavior.
thing,
Yeah. But I mean, if like your point,
so
he
here
was
it is.
You may have heard about his recent comments in Playboy magazine saying
in Playboy magazine.
honest words.
I read it.
I am appalled.
I get the subscription for the
articles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I am appalled.
He said in a previous interview saying he wants to see a scary Obama. Jackson told Playboy, quote, he got a little heated about the kids getting killed in Newtown and about the gun law. Well, he's still...
Well, she's still alive.
If Hillary Clinton decides to run, she's going to kick their
Yes, you
vaping
are.
Republicans
Yeah.
effing AIDS.
There should be a small bottle in
I
there.
almost did.
I wonder if one of them say the same thing. Like, because he shouldn't have said that out loud.
They don't.
But then you
are with.
But the article was in Playboy.
Cursing you can't look down on those articles. There are really some good articles in Playboy. My daddy had that magazine. He just did not adopt me before he died. I added Hugh Hefner at least once a week to adopt me.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I felt like I didn't have to sleep with him.
You
because
all
them
right?
girls they couldn't cook.
Something went down the wrong
The wrong way?
pipe and it won't come out.
Oh, it's still stuck? Let me tell y'all a
I'm
story
hoping that
about
this
this.
water helps go down.
Need some bread.
Yeah, you need some. Like, you need some bread.
We're trying to be keto-ish. We don't have any bread.
Not white bread.
I don't have no kind of
keto
bread.
So look, I have a funny story.
No Ezekiel bread either. No
kind of bread.
So I was eating some fish one time, and there was a bone obviously in the fish. And when I ate it, the bone got stuck like right here in the back of my throat. Like literally, like it went down that way and got stuck there. So obviously everything that I did didn't work. Bread, water, whatever. I actually literally had to go to the emergency room for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was up.
That's what I'm saying, because you feel it, like, because it was right there.
And you gotta make yourself breathe at that point.
Yes. And it was the craziest thing, because when I went, and luckily enough, I was working at the ER that time, so I knew the doctor that was working.
Yeah.
And like literally, I opened my mouth and he took the tool and like, because you could see it.
Oh, wow.
And like he pulled it out.
Wow.
So of course I stopped eating fish after that.
The fish got you from the grave.
I stopped eating perch for a while because of that.
I was
what?
like,
Perch, you know how you can get the little hand-sized perch like in South Georgia?
Yeah.
You can get the little hand-sized perch.
Yeah.
You need to eat like 3 or 4 of them to get full because they so little. Man. And I would eat that fish I would just sit with that crystal hot sauce.
Really?
Eat that fish out of the grease. And I mean, I was coughing and hacking and I couldn't get it. And you know how you cough so much you bring tears to your eyes?
Yeah.
And your nose. I wrapped the rest of that fish up and was mad.
yeah, I was just like, this is the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because I can see, like I said, you can see it. So I was trying to get it out. So I had to go to the damn emergency room.
No, you be feeling
I
like
should
that with
have
all the other little kids with toys and their nose and stuff. You be like, I just got a fish in my throat. I got a fish in my throat.
Getting you from the grave.
Yeah. So
Well, this has been a lot of fun, everybody. Hope you have enjoyed this. And we will do this again with what's the next cuisine?
we didn't have a conversation about this.
We didn't
before
have
she
it,
said
so
that.
we just get it. So, I don't know, but it will be keto-ish. So I am Stevie.
You guys she forgot her name.
In the name of Jesus.
I was like,
Let's try this. That's who I am. I don't know.
Oh, it's your PR diva.
I'm Trevina.
And Deandra.
And Sterling.
See you next time.